Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we have 3 maps instead of 2 maps. Why? Why? Well, first of all, the map you see down below is a late substitute map because the map that we were going to review as the lead map, well, it was a little bit broken, and we'll take a look at that map anyway. So there's your third map. So we have 2 fantastical maps that we'll be seeing the full reviews of, and a real-life location map, which was broken for me, was broken for somebody else as well. It may not be broken for you. If it's not, any advice you can give to me and to the original creator, I'm sure will be greatly received. So, are you ready? Let's have a little look at said broken map. It's Hadeland by Jax now, or Jax. This is a real life location in Norway, just slightly north of Oslo, not very far, just a little bit north of Oslo. Not quite a requirement list. There is a one-click collection for virtually all of the vanilla roads. I think it might even be all of the vanilla roads. You can see there, Shockwave also has had a broken time of it. And the broken time is, oh well, you'll see. You'll see. Whole chunk of the map which is very broken and with roads that have just blue-mantled out. I can't quite work out what the issue is exactly. I've done a few restarts. The Shockwave suggested they thought it was the mod zoning adjuster. So I tried loading it without zoning adjuster. It wasn't that. I tried all the usual culprits, and it wasn't any of the usual culprits. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. What I do know is, if it loads, I reckon this is a very nice map indeed. If it loads. But getting it to load may be an issue. So yes, Hadeland by Jax. If you have it, links in the description. If you have it and it's working, just if you've got any advice, I'm glad to hear it. Anyway, we've got 2 reviews to go today yet, and we'll start with this thing. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first review is New Asgard by SodiumChloride. Right, okay, SodiumChloride on the mountains there. Salt for snow today, I believe. And yes, the thumbnail was taken by night. See that so often. There's your start square. That's very attractive, isn't it? It's just very attractive. Can't groan about that one. The terrain heights are pretty flat in the buildable area with just a few hills, and then of course the mountains are out the outside. We have resources in terms of blocks of painting that I feel are workable without necessarily being too inspiring. Then we have fishing, which is quite interesting. I like the way this works with the fishing. I quite like, so credit for that one. Probably more luck than judgment, but even so, all definitely works, so that is good. And then off to the workshop. Now, all you'll need for this one is the Aguilver theme. Of course, you don't really need it. It will work fine without it. And we'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT as well. Nicely written description talking about, mass transit. You'll need mass transit for this one, or it'll be broken. Nicely written description. And yes, they wanted to build something with canals. So we have canals, which of course are part of the vanilla game, so nothing to stop you from doing that. Anyway, the map as a whole, we have mountains around the outside with the snow as for backdrop, and then the middle of the map is just an interesting design. It's covered in the description. It's from a custom design that they've created into a map, which is, I mean, it's interesting, fantastical, and it's interesting. And we have ships. We have the ships. Rolling around. We'll check the shipping routes a little bit later on, along with all the, if you see any niggles and griggles, we will be going back for the niggles and griggles. Don't worry about that. I haven't missed them. I promise you, I haven't missed them. We'll just do the a quick network flyover to start off with. Now you have this one outside connection here, so you won't actually get any through traffic. It'll only be traffic heading down here once you start building. And again, that will please some people, and other people will hate it. And it's just having the knowledge up front. so you can make the decisions. I have no problem with it at all. In fact, it's almost a preference for me, to be honest. But yeah, if you're not a big fan of just like these dead end roads and highways, when I say dead end, it ends in a big ring road. I mean, literally a ring road there. I mean, if you like that, then great. And if you don't like that, then there are other maps. It's fine. Yeah, you can go look elsewhere. It's okay. Nobody's going to cry. I promise. Nobody's going to cry. Anyway, the design of the map is very nice. It's quite striking. Obviously, little nod to Norse mythology and possibly a little bit of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I like that design. I think it's interesting and definitely one for a fantastical build. Maybe going for like castle, a mix of like medieval and futuristic mixed in together would work really well on this map, I feel. Around the outside, the Aguil Vert theme gives us this striking white snow. We're using the realistic 1.2 luck. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what luck we had there. But yes, it's a bit stark, but Tony Stark. There's your Marvel link there. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, just good buildable space. Very nice buildable space. And again, broken up with the forests and with the canals and with the ring road as well. It's just forcing you to think a little bit laterally. Now, it might be a little bit too symmetrical for some people, looking at that and going, oh, no, I don't want to be more creative. Well, again, there are other maps for people that want to do that. But I think that's a winner. I think that's definitely a winner. Right, let's have a look around at some other bits and bobs. We've got these islands along the outside here as well for interesting build areas. And we have shipping routes. Now, the shipping route goes, you saw the ships going under here, through here. Now, there is a little bit of clipping, a minor. There's a bit of scraping along on the right-hand pillar there. And also the bridge is just a little bit too low for the vanilla cruiser. Just a wee bit. So let me open up that there. So yes, you can see that the route is right, but it just scrapes on that pillar there. Just a wee bit. Again, some of you aren't going to care at all. And that's fine. That's fine. You're right not to care. It's a fantasy map. That's fine. You're right not to care. And then water flow. We've got good water motion in the start square, but we've also got two separate water sources separated by this band of road down the middle here. So you can pump from one, draw into the other, or pump and draw into one of them. It's going to work whichever way you choose to do it. So that's all good. Right, let's come back into camera mode. And I've got a few little jumps too. Shall we jump to the next location? I think we'll do that. Now this one is just a little bit of, I think this is ore down here. Interesting for a bit of industry down the river here. But you may notice one stray naughty tree. He's a little bit skinny dipping. Okay, not the one that's on the shoreline there, but right here. There you go. Yes, he's got his trunks on. I mean, it's just one stray tree, okay? It's a bit unusual though, because we have other trees in the rivers. But they're not in the rivers. Because look at this. Because space magic, as Thor would say. Yes, they're hovering, levitating. And it's unusual to see. It's very unusual to see that when you get one that's within the river and one, and then a few dozen which are floating above the river. Also, not that it's actually a problem because we have the keys, but these are elevated at ground level, which would normally give you Blue Mantle. But the keys are holding the Blue Mantle back. So we're getting away with it. Again, probably more luck than judgment. But we have an identical section over here. This does actually have an elevated road here. And again, we've got a few hovering trees. Sorry, is that the identical section? Or is that a section a bit further back? There are 3 sections where we have hovering trees. And here's the third one. Yes, so hovering trees and one section which has roads at ground level. And we've got a few trees under the highways there. And there was another section with rail which had a few trees on the branch line. But it's minor stuff. There are very few areas where you're going to find glitches like that. I've showed you literally all of them. You've seen all of them. on the map right there. Anyway, your chance to vote on this map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Don't forget to vote on the correct map. What do I think of this first map? Well, aesthetically, I like the design. I really like the design. I think it's done with an aplomb. An aplomb, I tell you. I often say that word. Thing is, as much as I like it, it doesn't pop. And I don't know why it doesn't pop. It's probably a LUT issue. Probably a realistic, a relight average rather than the realistic would work better. But I always use the same LUT unless one is prescribed. And that LUT is the one voted by you. Realistic 1.2. I'm going to go 3 stars. I'm going to go the top end of 3. There's just a little bit of pop missing from it. Detailing. I'd love to go a high 3 on this one, but we have got quite a few floaty trees and drowned trees. The overall standards are pretty good, so I'm going to go for a medium-high 3. A few things to clean up. Gameplay, yeah, let's go middle 4. Let's go middle 4 because I reckon this is a twice playthrough. Yeah, the first time, then you want to do better. Definitely a good one. New Asgard by SodiumChloride. Yeah, a good one for detailers and futurists and medieval builders. And those of you that like intermissions, I've got one of those too. And on to our second map. Now, we do a lot of we do a lot of maps that require a lot of RAM and a lot of DLCs, and sometimes what you want is a nice simple map that's going to be suitable for a potato, that is clean and tidy and hasn't got much wrong with it. This is one of those maps, and it's a little bit interesting too, so a little bit of credit into the design work on this one. Now, it's not quite a My First Map. Their first map was 4 years ago, but they've not made one since. So that one was their experience, and this is their second map 4 years on. It's almost very much a first map, isn't it? Today's second map of the day is Flat Plateaus by Coveted 1. Coveted 1? I'm going with that. It's probably wrong, but I'm going with it. It's a little simple, fantastical style map with some good standards on it. And I mean good standards. Start square, looks playable and interesting. The terrain heights, they are plateaus. It's not flat, but the buildable areas are flat. The resources are accessible and strong. It's a smallish build, but both of those are good to go. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, there are a couple of interesting little areaettes, but it's not really a mind-blowing fishing map, really. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a 100% vanilla map, no DLC required. Nicely written short description, of course, that's good. And we are, of course, using the realistic 1.2 LUT. The vanilla European theme is the theme in operation. Okay, down to ground level, we have the road and the rail running sort of parallel with each other. I think you can work out what I mean by that. And we'll take a look at the rail and the road sort of simultaneously, but we'll come back for the rail at this section a bit later on for reasons which will become clear a little bit later on. Minor grumble time, bit later on. Let's get on and just do some non-grumbles for a few minutes. It's a bit rare. This show would be no fun without grumbles, wouldn't it? You know? Or if I can't find something to grumble about, is it really What's Map? Is it really? Okay, we have the vanilla Cloverleaf, which is doing the job of a vanilla Cloverleaf. Outside connection there, outside connection in front of us, outside connection behind us, and then a dead end route, very similar again to the previous map. But this one includes a big old bridge. As we all know, everybody loves a big old bridge. When I say everybody, I mean probably nobody. But it's a good meme. And if you're playing BonBonBingo, link is in the description. Grab yourself a bingo card, check off those memes as we go. Almost certainly will be 1 or 2 more to come. Heading down towards the start square, which is here. And we've got, well, Cloverleaf and the Wishbone and the Wiggly bit And Plateaus below to buildable space. Oh, look at the buildable space. Liking this. If we were to take this little turn off over here, you've got this, I think this is the ore round, isn't it? So we've got ore, then we've got a little drive that can take you up into... These are quite wide. These are quite wide. I mean, a more accomplished creator probably would have done it narrower, which would probably be wrong, because this is just going to show that actually... These kind of gives me a vibe of the early Final Fantasy games or so, that kind of thing. You know, the old early 2000s 3D games. And that's what the map would look like, and that's got a certain charm about it. Also liking the way that the trees have been put in all the inaccessible areas to basically detail and highlight these inaccessible areas. Nothing wrong with that at all. And it does keep the buildable areas completely clean and empty as well. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's simple, and it's quite an accomplished little thing. I mean, we're not talking mind blowing, but we're talking about doing the right things right. And why not? Now, have a look at the water flow here. There's your start square. We have good, strong water flow pushing out thanks to that spawn point there. So you've got no grumbles with that at all. And in terms of shipping routes, we've got a route that, let me get this sort of like south and north and south. There we go. We've got a route that goes all the way around the island with some nice little shipping triangles and no shortcuts. So everything there is going to work quite neatly as well. We have, again, a big old bridge with a shipping route that actually goes right through the middle with no clipping, no grinding, and it's all good. It's another little winner. Another little big old bridge. It wants to be big, doesn't it? To allow the ships under. Okay, in terms of detailing, do you know what? In terms of location, it's a simply plopped little castle unit. It works. It's not mind-blowing, but it works, and I'm good with it. We do have some drowned trees, though. Yes, they've got their trunks on. This is really drowned. Poor fella. Why do you do this to the trees, huh? Why do you do this? But anyway, yes, a few. That's about the worst of the detailing. Well, maybe one other minor grumble to come. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Liking this essential lighthouse here with the steps leading out into the ocean, so that you've got to moor up to get to the island. I like that little idea. We've got another little detail area over here as well, with another essential lighthouse and the gun placement. A slightly less interesting castle, even though there's more work done to it. The pier we can't get up onto, it's just a little bit too much of a climb to get up onto that one. And with the essential lighthouse, it's difficult to get onto that as well. That's a little bit elevated as well. So anyway, I'm sure we can find a third essential lighthouse in a minute, which will be better. We've got a slight gouge here between the road and the rail, which is just conspicuous by the fact it looks like a little bit of a gouge. Other than that, not a big problem. Also, no catenary chaos, which is a very nice thing. And, look, no blue mantle, which I was expecting to find at that location. So that's good. Finding good things. Here's another essential lighthouse. I hate to say, you know, that this one is the worst of the lot regarding accessibility. If you've got a wheelchair, you're not getting in this one. I'm just saying it up front right now. Although, a wheelchair in a lighthouse is, yay. They're not normally wheelchair accessible, are they? Anyway, we have rail. Rail's quite interesting and a lot of fun. But, and there is a but. Well, first of all, let's say catenary chaos, none. Good, but. Okay, you probably spotted it already. We've got no catenary chaos down there. Trying to show you all the good things, but we've got blue mantle. Yeah, we're elevated at ground level, and it's just basically ripped the terrain apart there. And I wish I could say that that was it, but it's not. It's not. There is more instances of that, like over here. This is getting down towards the start square area down here, where the rail on two on one side and then one on the other side. Got away with it on the other one though. And it's not just the rail, because if you have a look over here, we've got another one with the rail, which has been ripped open there. And we've got a little bit of road blue mantle over here as well. Blue mantle is, for me, the biggest fail in the game. Don't be ripping the terrain apart, okay? I've got a tutorial for that, you know. Anyways, that is about all I've got to show you. It's an accomplished little map with a few beginner errors on it. And that's, yeah, if that's the worst of it, how can you vote it down too much? Well, it's up to you how much you vote it down, or vote it up by clicking the link in the description or the I button now. Take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, and it all goes towards the viewer's choice at the end of the month. Don't forget to make sure you vote on the correct map. Okay, right, so today's second map, what do I think of it? I think it's a cute little design. It's certainly not mind-blowing, but it's cute, and it's been done with a relative amount of aplomb. And that's all we can ask from a map like this, I feel. I think we can go into 3 stars. It's going to be at the lower end, but the overall design is not displeasing, and it doesn't really do much wrong. So yeah, middly low 3. Detailing would be easily into 3 stars. It should be a high 3-star map, but with so many blue mantles, and we've got some drowned trees as well, I've got to knock it down to 2 stars. But we go towards the top end of 2. Gameplay, I'm going to go right down the middle on 3 stars. It's probably higher than that for those of you that have got a potato and want a map like this to go wild on. So if that's you, push it up into 4 stars. Flat Plateaus by Coljet, number 1. Coljet, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I have no issues with this at all. And the blue mantle, I mean, it's fixable in seconds. If you've got the skills, so you follow my tutorial, you'll be absolutely golden. Like this screenshot, although it's more of a platinum screenshot there. Thanks to all the BonBon buddies over on Patreon for your ongoing support. You're amazing. I had to shoehorn that in at the end of the show as well. And if you're here, can you shoehorn the word of the day into the comments? Score yourself some population points just for fun. And I'll be back on Sunday with the chart show. See you then. Have a great day.